Hello, I'm Debra Prince, and I've been asked by the Garden Club to show you how to make a seasonal swag. So join me today as we swag into fall. Making a seasonal swag as a centerpiece for your dining room table or countertop is a lot easier than you think. We first start with a board, and this is simply an unfinished board that you can get at Hobby Lobby. It's actually used to be hanging, and I take out the hanging metal pieces, and that is so I want the back of the board to be completely flat. And I use this particular board because it's thin. I add felt to the back to protect your countertop or your dining room table. Before I even do the felt, I make sure that I paint it a color green. The reason for this is when you have faux floral, you're not going to cover everything, and you don't want the raw of the wood to show through. By painting it green, if you can see through the faux floral, you won't notice that it's on a board. So once it's painted and felt is glued to the back, then I take the bushes that I bought to put it together. The trick of the trade for putting together a centerpiece is to buy floral bushes that you could then bring together at the center and then place your focal point or your focal decor in the center. And that's what I've done. Now, I've already kind of pre-did this a little bit to save time, but these are two different bunches of faux floral greenery brought together at the center. They have been staple gunned down as well as glued down. Then I use a zip tag to place the centerpiece down as well as glue. A zip tag is just one of these little plastic items that you get in a bunch at Hobby Lobby, and they're great for holding your faux floral in place, but I always add a little bit of glue as well. The key is the amount of time and effort you're going to put into making a seasonal swag. You want it to last for a few seasons, so you want to make sure that it is durable. Once I add my focal point of a pumpkin on top, now I'm going to pull all the leaves forward because these have been kind of mashed down from shipping. So you want to make sure everything is pulled up and forward and out so you know how much or how little you want to add to this centerpiece. Well, we are going to add a lot more because I like my centerpieces to be nice and full. So what else can we add to the centerpiece? I purchased 2 more pumpkins at Hobby Lobby so that I can add to the center of this piece. And what I'm going to do first is just to place it at a diagonal instead of in a row, so that the focal point has some interest. You could bend it. They're on wires. You kind of bend them. And so now I have a diagonal line here to my centerpiece. And I like that because no matter where the centerpiece is on the table, if it's on the center of the table, of course, no matter where people are sitting, they're going to get a very pleasant view of your centerpiece decor. So now that that's in place, we're going to take our staple gun and staple it down. Now, actually, we might. There you go. So now that's down in place. And this one is in so tight, I think all we're going to do is glue it. So with the glue gun, add a little glue to keep it in place. Okay. And as you're working, you always really want to make sure where you can that you're pulling the floral out and about so that it's not lying flat. So what else can we add to our centerpiece? I love eucalyptus leaves. And this was one branch that was cut down to 3 separate branches. And I do this so that the leaves can be strategically placed and manipulated throughout the arrangement. So take off the leaves that might get in the way. And there's a nice place to add these eucalyptus leaves. Staple it down. And now to the other side. You can already see just a few simple steps and the centerpiece is coming together. Okay, so this one, I'm not going to be able to get in there with the staple gun, but I will go ahead and glue it. Perfect. So we filled some more spaces in here. Give it a chance to dry before we really fluff this out. Well, it looks like it needs a little bit more color. And by the way, any extra leaves you pull off in order to staple gun or put things, glue things down, save it because everything can be used. Well, now I think what we'll do is we'll add some color. Most of the time when we think of fall, we only think of orange and yellows and browns. But plum and pink and a muted rose color are also great fall colors. So be creative and think out of the box. Be unique. Think of something different. So today we're going to use some of these plum colored leaves that are really pretty and they're going to give the arrangement some interest. By the way, I got these wire cutters at Lowe's. They're the blue handle with the yellow trim, and they are outstanding. They'll easily cut through anything. So we will cut these. I may not use all of this bush, but I'm thinking perhaps 3 sections. It's always good to work in odd numbers when you're doing a floral arrangement, just like you would do in decorating. So before I glue anything down, I'm just going to place it. And maybe I want to place it against the white pumpkin so it'll stand out. So one section will go next to the white pumpkin, and then the other 2 will go on the sides of the centerpiece. So I always work in opposites. If I have the floral to the left at the back, to the right at the back, then maybe the other section will go to the left at the front. Like that, and I like that. I'm still not going to glue anything down quite yet. Let's add a pop of color to our arrangement using these great silver dollar, what looks like aspen leaves. Take off the tag. Again, we're going to snip sections of it. On wire cutters, the cutting edge has to be on the other side. And again, I'm going to work in threes. And see how I might arrange it in the centerpiece. You make the stem so long, you don't always use that whole stem. Okay, let's put this aside. Okay, so I want to show you working diagonally. I have the gold silver dollar aspen leaves on the other side of the plum leaves to the centerpiece, and then working straight down the centerpiece on both sides. I think that is strategically placed. It's coming together. Well, what if we wanted just a little bit more texture? I love this stem. There are these little prickly floral on the very top that gives it more texture, and it gives it some nice color as well. So let's take tag off, and we're going to cut each of these. You can see how well these cutters cut. They're my favorite. Okay. I think I'm going to add these towards the end of the centerpiece, somewhat coming up. Maybe at an angle. And I think I will just add this one on this side. So there's two on one side, one on the other. That is okay. That will work. Another great embellishment for any floral arrangement, but especially a seasonal centerpiece, is moss. And I especially love this green moss. It's very bendable, and to make something look natural, you want something that's bendable, that's in your arrangement, not straight, but kind of twisted, so it really looks natural. Something that you would see if you were walking on a trail in the Colorado mountains. So now we're going to see where we can add this. I like bending it completely. So it has personality, or adds personality to the arrangement. And we're gonna, well, let's put the smaller one in the center. And this one, it's in the way, but we will use it. The moss works very well. I also purchased these little pom-poms, these yellow pom-poms, and you certainly get a lot in one bunch for $9.99, and if you could get a 50% off sale, it's a really great deal. So we're just going to add 2 of these branches. Again, bending them in place and going in opposite directions. Our fall floral is really taking on a nice look. And I have right now a lot of things in front of it. But as you can see, we are almost done. The last thing that I would add, besides pine cones, and we will do pine cones, is just a branch. And with this branch, I'm actually going to also cut it into 3 separate pieces. And I want it to be in the center, again, to highlight our focal point of pumpkins. I haven't glued anything down because I'm going to do that after I kind of finish this video temporarily, put it on pause. It will take a long time to glue everything down, but I will be back with what the finished centerpiece looks like. So right now, this is what we have. And as you can see, it didn't take long to make. We have a lot of texture, a lot of color, and a very nice look for celebrating the arrival of fall and hopefully cooler temperatures. I'll be right back after the centerpiece is all glued down and completed. Well, I am back and the arrangement is all done. Everything that you see here is exactly what we were using and putting together before I took a pause. And I think it came out beautiful. It looks very organic, very natural, really like you were taking a walk, a hike in the Colorado mountains and came across this beautiful, natural arrangement along your pathway. If you'd want to add a little pizzazz or a little sparkle, all you need are a few gold leaves or whatever you might find that has some sparkle to it and insert it into your arrangement. Like I mentioned earlier, I always like adding things at a diagonal for balance and interest. And now we have a little glitter, a little pizzazz to the arrangement. This was fun to do, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to share with all of you how you can swag into fall very easily and in your own unique style. Thank you for joining me today.